So this is Sasha Costa with the Media Heroes. I'm here today with Nedley Pinkham.
Pilkington.
All right, I can't say it. So
Nobody else can either. I married it. So
great. So I'm here today to talk to Nedley about her life, how she got involved with Lifestyles Unlimited, which is an organization that I'm a part of as well. I'm a member of Lifestyles Unlimited, and I really believe in this organization, and I'm glad that she's a big part of it. And about how she got started, about the properties that she owns. She owns houses, car washes, and she's also in charge of the vendor list here at Lifestyles. So, without any further ado, and not wanting to steal your thunder, tell me a little bit about yourself, Natalie.
well, first and foremost, I'm a wife and a mother to 3 children. I have a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old little girl, 2 boys older. And that's my first and foremost priority out of everything that I do and the hats that I wear. They're also a motivating factor for me in getting started. So my daytime job is Lifestyles Unlimited. I'm the vice president of the vendor program, which the title really doesn't mean anything. The vendor program is the important thing. That's what takes care of the members. My side thing and the thing that I do for investing is single family rental properties. I have 8 single family rent houses right now in my portfolio. I've flipped and I've held on. That's the main thing that I want to do is hold. And then I have some commercial properties, which are self-serve car washes. And people are always excited about car washes, being that it's a cash business, and
Right.
there are caveats with that. So I would want to steer people to single-family realty or single-family investing from that aspect. And then, so that's really, I guess, me in a nutshell who I am today. So
Good deal. Good deal. So, tell me a little bit about how you got involved with Lifestyles.
I got started because one of my husband's best friends growing up forever, we talked to him about real estate investing. Bought my first house at the age of 20, something that my mom could afford
Congratulations.
and I can afford, and a little shotgun shack out in Splendora. So with that being said, it was something that we lived in, and when I moved away, I knew my mom would be able to stay there. I was raised by my mother, single parent family.
Right.
So things were a little difficult or different for me in the sense that I didn't have the 2 parents. So with that being said, though, I was still loved and had all the love in the world. So
Right.
love can never be replaced with money, and love is the most important thing. So I did have that, and I started working at the age of 12 pulling skeet, and I knew that I needed to do something different if I wanted to expect something different. And so I knew what poor was. I didn't realize how poor we really were. But I knew I needed to make a change, and I knew I had to do something different. I knew I could, and I was going down the path. We had the land, the F-250 truck, recently married. I married, a guy that I was dating in high school, my sweetheart.
Good.
And so I knew we were down that road to the perfect life and starting the family. And I knew that wouldn't necessarily get me where I wanted to be. I knew I'd have to hang on to my job to be able to afford the bills. I knew I wouldn't have a certain level of freedom that I would want. And people don't realize the shackles that are necessarily put on them from that job until they actually have those shackles removed, and then to feel their wrist move and know that it's not so confining. So we sold the F-250 and we sold the land, and we bought our first investment property. It wasn't an investment property. I guess we bought our first house, which we moved into, but it was a fixer-upper. We bought it from an old lady that was moving in with her daughter.
Yes.
So we fixed the property up, moved into it. And then it took us about 2 years before we were ready to buy our next property. Then we bought that, and it was on the same street, and we moved, a few houses down and rented our house out, and it just went from there. But our friend Jeff Smith is our friend, and he works here at Lifestyles as well. But he said, if you're going to do real estate investing, you've got to be a part of Lifestyles Unlimited. And he also mentioned the Rich Club, that I needed to be a part of both because they both offered different ways and solutions of being an investor. So
Yes, absolutely. We felt the same way as far as if I wanted to be in investing, we had to be with Lifestyles. So, good deal.
doesn't mean being a realtor.
No. I mean,
No, I know. That's one of my pet peeves. It's like people want to learn about investing and they don't understand that there's places out there that'll help you. And
Yes.
so they go to get a real estate license when they still don't understand how to invest in real estate, which they're two different things.
And I appreciate you saying that. So
So-
you don't need to be a realtor to invest into real estate.
Absolutely not. I would
Mm-hmm.
say know some good realtors though, but don't take that avenue. You know, invest in your education first as far as being an investor. And if you decide that you want to be a realtor because it'll enhance your bottom line, make you more or give you more access to certain things, then absolutely,
Good.
by all means, do it. But don't do it because you want to be an investor.
Yes, yes. So Jeff got you to investing
Mm-hmm.
in 2 years. Well, you bought one property. 2 years later, you bought another property in the same street.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have more houses in that same street.
I
don't
do.
you?
I have 3 houses in a 5-house period on the same street, yes.
Good. So you own the whole street? No.
Ooh, that'd be a lot of houses. No, I just have those 3, but
Good.
it's good for the market. The neighbors all know who I am, and it helps for rental. So
Good, good. So how did you go also into car washes? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
one came for sale at the right price in my target market. You know, I'm real big on working a target market. I think Houston is so expansive that you can get lost and overwhelmed in the different markets, and you can't be an expert when you're starting out and learning every single market. You'll waste a lot of time, energy, effort. So hone down into your target market. And in our target market, in our area, there was a car wash that came up for sale, and we were able to get private money and finance the car wash. So that's how we got started.
Good, good for you. And so did Jeff Smith work at Lifestyles at the time when you met him, or how did you guys get involved with Lifestyle?
Well, Jeff Smith has been friends with my husband from diapers. They lived on the same neighborhood in the same street with each other. So he's family to us.
Good.
The response or him knowing about Lifestyles in the Rich Club was his father-in-law or his aunt. They are both really involved with real estate and have, I think, 80 single-family houses, and they were vacationing every month. And so he thought that that was the route he wanted to go. And anybody who knows Jeff realizes that he's pretty smart and analytical, but he's also not afraid to take risk, you know, calculated risk. So he knew about it from his family, so he shared that with us. And most people, what's funny is, you know, this information is out there, and when you share it with people, they don't really want to go out and do it. And you find what happens is you weed out the people who are really serious or people who are just pondering and wasting time and dreaming versus taking action. So when you learn real estate investing, you get a lot of people that come to you in the outside world that want to know more, but really don't want to know more. So
Very true.
there's a difference there. So when you tell someone and you give them an action step that's truly beneficial to them, and if they act upon, then you know that that's somebody who has some real action steps and real priorities in making real estate investing a priority for his family or her
Yes.
family.
Good.
So
It sounds like you followed those action steps. You got into 2 houses, then 3. And how did you go from 3 houses into being in charge of the vendor list here at Lifestyles?
I was working a job. Everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in fate and faith. I got diagnosed with Graves' disease and found out I was pregnant. And Graves' disease is an overactive thyroid, so it's nothing terminal.
Okay.
But got diagnosed the same week and got fired from my job at the same week. I was in outside sales. I sold advertising for a publication, and I was in the top in the nation. Personality conflict. But when I got fired, I was giddy. I was happy. It was just different. A sense of control that I
didn't bother
had.
you?
It bothered me. I mean, it's like a rejection. You know, how can you fire me? I'm still in the top, top in the nation. You're really not that bright of a company. Needless to say, they're no longer in business. But they, just the hurt behind that aspect. But I also had a plan.
Good.
And I knew that that company wasn't my plan and it wasn't my end. So I had the information, the knowledge, and the tools to be able to buy. And we were closing on our I think that was the same time we were closing on our first investment property. So it all worked out together, and worked out that we closed on the property, got it all done, and we ended up staying in there, flipped a house or 2 in between, and one flip we couldn't flip. I just didn't do the rehab right and made some mistakes along the way, and ended up moving into that flip. And
Okay.
my husband is a police officer, was working extra jobs and helping out there financially. We ended up, I was going crazy. You know, kudos to any woman who's able to stay home with her children and has a calling for that. That was not my calling. The Sackers were running for me at the grocery store. I needed that adult interaction, and so I was looking for something to go and do. By this point, though, I'm tainted. I'm used to being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, in a sort of sense of, I'll just work the pre-foreclosure list, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. I was in control. So I knew when I went back to work, it would either have to be something really special for me to go back to, or something that I made a huge amount of money at that made it worth it for the short term. And Jeff told me about the position at Lifestyles. He said, hey, Lifestyles has a vendor position and it's working with vendors. It's right up your alley. So I interviewed with Trey Stone. He was the originator of the vendor program at Lifestyles. And he interviewed me and several others. And I just knew I had the position. There was really no thought. So on Tuesday, whenever he said he'd call, I answered the phone. I was like, yeah, I've been waiting for your call. He's like, you were? Yeah, I got the job, right? So, and the pay really wasn't anything because it was such a fledgling vendor program, but it was doing what I loved. And I saw a future with it in the sense of being able to help people change their lives like I've been able to change mine. So, and I really grew at Lifestyles with my investing when I was pregnant with my third child. People trust a pregnant lady, let me tell you that. Doing the it's the mother wouldn't lie to me, but no, and I don't lie. But on the surface, you don't know that. So I was able to work the pre-foreclosure list, and I bought 4 houses like within that time span of my pregnancy, which I was just having fun. I was doing what I wanted, you know, having labor pains, signing closing docs. So it was really good. Moved there and then went to the commercial side. So real estate's been fun. It's life-changing. It opens your eyes. It gives you a freedom. You don't put up with as much crap from people. You don't have to. You're not shackled, basically, to the job, to the 9 to 5, to the person at work that you can't stand. It's a freedom. Nobody has control over you. So,
see, this is great. It's exciting just talking to you.
It's exciting being me. No, I'm just kidding. But you too can be me. No, that's the beauty. So.
Well, and what I love about what you're saying in Lifestyles model is you get to help people, and the way you help yourselves by helping people, right? The more you help other people, the more it comes back to you.
Right.
So I love that about you.
Yeah, it is. We're not about, and people get this and they have this mentality, the scarcity mentality, and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You know, Stephen Covey addresses that. But you've got to have that abundance mentality. If you have ever driven around the city of Houston, one neighborhood has anywhere from 300-500 houses plus. So for people to say there's not enough real estate in Houston, it's not true. There are so many properties out there, so many distressed properties, and there's money to do it. Even whatever your situation is, so many people want to paint themselves into the corner of a room. They feel they can't get out, but you know what? That paint dries, and you'll be able to get out. So no matter
I like that.
no matter whatever the situation is, you can always work your way through whatever's coming at you. And we all have a story, and we all have a challenge.
True.
The difference is how you handle that. Everything is negotiable. Everything is open, and you may not be the right contact for me today. You may be the right contact for me tomorrow, but in the meantime, I'm going to knock on every single door till I get what I'm looking for, or I convince you to do what it is I need. And it's not a con, or it is, you've got to lay out facts. You just have to be able to sell yourself. You need to be able to sell your mission, sell your beliefs, sell your cause. You know, this is why you should lend to me. This is why I'm a good investment for you.
Good. I like that. I like it. So let me change hats a little bit as far as, you're in charge of the vendor list, and you have your personal properties, but let's talk a little bit about marketing and social media.
Okay.
You're in charge of the Facebook page for the vendor list or Lifestyles. Tell me a little bit about that.
I do the Facebook. I help with Facebook for Lifestyles and for Courtney's Crusade, which is a charity that Lifestyles helps with. One of our realtors here lost his daughter to sudden cardiac arrest, so I help with that page. And also, somebody who's running for Harris County Sheriff coming up. And so I help in that sense of just assisting where I can. And it's not that I'm necessarily professional in that area, but I do what I can to keep that constant contact.
Right. And it's about
going.
creating the community, right?
Right.
And how is that working for you? How is that community interacting with you? How do you interact with that community?
I could always do better. I could always do better. We are definitely growing and increasing our membership and our impression rates. I'm learning to watch impression rates and see how those work with what's posted, and also the time of day and who's on Facebook and all of that, because I know all of that is a factor. Also, what are they clicking in and what are they responding to, and just watching what other communities are doing and what they're posting. So I think I'm doing okay, but I also know I'm not the expert in there, and I have room for improvement.
Well, in part of our company, we're the media heroes. Part of being a hero, you know, the way people are heroes is by helping other people. And we work with a couple charity organizations as well. Why don't you tell us about the charity organization? Is it Chuck's organization that you're talking about?
Chuck Maley. Courtney's Crusade, what I guess the main gist of the charity is that they donate automated external defibrillators to public schools and public buildings. They actually have donated 20 to Reliant Center or Reliant Stadium. So the whole Reliant area, if you ever go to a football game, you'll see the little gold sticker that says Courtney's Crusade. We just donated 14 automated external defibrillators to Galveston ISD. You know, after Hurricane Ike, they got wiped. And automated external defibrillators are kind of at the bottom of the list of things that they received. So they were very appreciative down there in Galveston to receive those AEDs. So it's...
Okay. So if somebody's watching this video, how can they help you with that?
Courtney'sCrusade.com, or find us on Facebook, Courtney's Crusade. You know, you can make donations through the website. Also send a check. You can send it to Lifestyles and we'll get it to Courtney's Crusade if you want to make it out to Courtney's Crusade. We have a golf tournament May 13th, 2011, which is always a lot of fun. It's at Cypresswood Golf Club, and the feedback is just phenomenal that it's the best, funnest golf tournament ever. So
I will put a link to that under this video on our website. Is that
awesome.
okay?
That'll be great.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. What else? I think we can probably wrap it up. And,
Absolutely. Important thing is take action.
Take action. So anything that we can come out of this video, or what we can take away here is take action.
Don't let that fear debilitate you. I think that's the number one thing people say, the what if, what if, what if. And they try and hold on to their job when the best thing sometimes in life is to lose that job, or to have that kind of tragedy happen to you so that you'll wake up. But you don't have to wait for that tragedy to happen to be able to move forward. So
True.
that's my takeaway.
Natalie, thank you so much
Thank you.
for letting us interview you.
A lot of fun.
All right. That's it, folks. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for the next one.